Hi, John Hotchkis here. On today's Hotchkis Sports Suspension Inside Look, we're going to see some details of some products. Products that will make your muscle car or performance truck handle even better and drive incredibly well. As we all know, the Chevy C10 truck is absolutely amazing. The things you can do with that. Put an LS engine in it, great big wheels and tires, because it has giant fender wells, it has wheel wells, it's a truck. But the fact you can make that a sports car, really a Corvette with a bed, is truly amazing. And we're going to talk about our shocks, especially the front shocks. To make a C10 handle really well, to have it grip the road, and even to approach 1G in cornering, we recommend lowering the front 4 inches and the rear 6 inches. Well, and that is great. It looks so cool, but imagine the truck was made as a 2-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive, so all the architecture, everything, frame, body, and all is made for a high ride height. When you lower it down, there's some compromises with the suspension, and especially the shocks. So let's show you our solution to getting a full-size shock into a lowered C10. All right, let's do a comparison. Now remember, you're lowering your C10 down probably 6 inches in the front, possibly more. You're doing that with springs, combination of a drop spindle, a different architecture in the lower arm, whatever it is, you're getting that lowered ride height. Probably one of the most popular ways to fit a shock when you've lowered your C10. And remember, it's down 6 inches, so the top shock mount and the bottom shock mount on the lower arm are much closer together. Therefore, you can't even use the length of shock that is standard on the vehicle. So therefore, companies will sell this shorty shock. And so imagine this, bolted to the top and bottom mounts. It's down about halfway in travel. So this short shock is supposed to dampen the energy of that higher rate spring you put in, also manage the damping and the energy from less travel. It just doesn't work, and I'll show you why. All right, let's compare. We'll show you our solution to the full-size shock on a lowered C10. We'll check out our Hotchkis by Fox shock. You know, we really like Fox. They make an absolute premium shock, and we always say if they can handle desert racers, trophy trucks, motorcycles, everything else, they can certainly handle a muscle car or a C10. So we're really proud to have this shock by Fox on all of our applications. Aluminum body, beautiful shock. We'll talk about that later. But let's just talk about the length. So remember, I talked about the shorter shock using the stock mounts. The shock is compressed at ride height, so you can see there's probably not much travel. And a shock absorber does really one thing. Well, a couple of things. But the main thing is it dampens the spring energy. On a lowered C10, we're using upwards of 1,500 pound spring rate. So it's a mega spring, and all of that energy from that spring has to be controlled by the shock. Well, as you can see, our full-size shock versus a much shorter shock. So our Hotchkis by Fox shocks has much better internals, and therefore will dampen that heavy spring energy so much better than this shorty. But check it out. You understand how this mounts. Now ours mount to the lower arm just as the stock shock, but imagine this. It now has full length travel because this bracket goes to the top of the frame. So if you imagine the frame ends here, and so it extends it this much more. So it's at least 2 inches longer than this shorty shock. Heavy duty bracket, I mean, you aren't going to bend this for anything. So we give you a template, you bolt the top mount in, connect the shock to it, and therefore you have a solution that is going to dampen that spring energy and make your C10 a blast to drive. Our Hotchkis by Fox shocks are really revolutionary. Smooth aluminum, hard anodized body, 60-61 aluminum caps, CNC machine caps, super strong internals. It has a double scraper wiper in it so that as the shock goes up and down in travel, it cleans the shock shaft. I mean, these shocks were born in the desert. They were born off-road, so they can absolutely handle anything the street can offer. For all of our shock applications, we've had a great time tuning them. We've been on the street and we've been on the track. We've also been on shaker rigs, which was so cool. Put the car or truck on a shaker rig, tie it down with all the instrumentation, have the shocks on there with different valving, and then actually the bed moves to replicate a road, and the shocks warm up. You can see how they work. It's amazing. Inside a car on a shaker rig, it feels like the car is actually driving, but obviously it's not. So what I'm saying is we have a ton of testing, a ton of evaluation in our shocks so that you know when you bolt these on, they'll be the right thing for your car or truck. We hope you've enjoyed another segment of Hotchkis Inside Look. If you have questions on any of these products, want more technical information, distributor information, whatever it is, please go to hotchkis.net or give us a call at 562-907-7757. Also, if you're on Instagram, check out our new Drive with Hotchkis hashtag. That's where so many of our customers gather to show their cool cars. Until then, I'm John Hotchkis, and thank you for watching.